Magandang gabi, good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Kumusta kayo po ang mga kababayan ko dyan po sa Pilipinas? Ang mga kababayan ko po dito sa Malaysia, particularly dito po sa Sabah is Malaysia, and of course, very specific dito po sa Kota Kinabalu, it's Monday and May 5th na po. Isang one more week. Tapos nandyan na po tayo. We are going to have our midterm election dyan po sa Pilipinas. Midterm election, ibig sabihin po, ang mga Filipinos, especially mga qualified voters, both nasa Pilipinas and those overseas, no? Mga overseas Filipino voters. Now they are going to choose. For those outside the country, they are going to choose 12 senatorial candidates and one party list. Yon po mga Filipinos dyan sa Pilipinas, now they can choose 12 senatorial candidates, and at the same time ang mga local candidates nila po in their respective provinces, cities, municipalities, and so forth and so on. Last week na ito po. Today is Monday, and on Monday, ang mga Filipinos will go to the polls and elect a new set of elected public servants po for another 3 years period. No? So, we keep on reminding ang mga kababayan natin po to make sure na vote according to our conscience and make sure that only deserving candidates will be elected po. Dahil a wrong choice of candidate would mean hardship, hardship would also mean sufferings to the Filipino nation or to ang mga Filipinos po. Wrong choice of candidates would mean continuation of corruptions, continuation of unfinished development projects, continuation of a lot of problems po. So if we want to have a better, sabihin natin tomorrow, then let's make the right choice po, and let's give our votes only to those deserving candidates. And today, I'm going to touch more on since last week na tayo, no? I will be touching more on the mga political analysts natin po dyan sa Pilipinas. How do they look now that we only left with another 1 week po? And campaign period will, I suppose, will end on Saturday, no? Sa Saturday na yun po. Because one day before the election, it means hindi na pwede magkampanya. And our police authorities, our men in uniforms, nasa red alert na sila. And ang COMELEC natin po, Commission on Election, ang mga staff, officers and staff of the Commission on Election are now ready. Are now ready to make sure that this midterm election will be peaceful, orderly, and cheating or there won't be any cheating. There won't be any cheating. Let's be alert ang mga kandidato, ang mga watchers nila po, ang mga supporters nila on the day of polling that will be on May 12. Make sure that your eyes and ears are widely opened, no? Widely open, and any doubts, any sabihin natin we suspect some anomalous things are being carried out during the polling day, then report it immediately to the proper relevant authorities. Okay? So, umpisa na tayo po itong programa natin. As what I said, let's get the reactions coming from ang mga political analysts, political campaign strategies natin po sa Pilipinas. And today's program, I have some statements coming from how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 yata ito. 3 political analysts. No? One is from very known political analyst, and then mayroon din tayo professor, lahat ito mga doktor, no? Doctor and professor po. Let's listen to them and let's see, it will help us sabihin natin make our decision po. Sino ba ngayon ang sabihin natin leading sa mga political surveys natin sa Pilipinas. Apparently, we cannot say really who are leading sa campaign polls po because we have commission and non-commission groups who are doing these political surveys. And some are biased, some are not biased. And let's always think that a survey is just a survey. The real survey will be on May 12. So to start with, let me share with you itong news article about mga kandidato po sa mga political surveys natin sa Pilipinas. And this time around, I'm going to give you the result of Pulse Asia. Pulse Asia po, just recently they conducted itong political survey sa mga kandidato for sa atin itong sabihin natin ang midterm election. Now, for your information, normally we experience and it has been noted that during sabihin natin during a midterm election, less ang participation of voters po, no? Less ang participation of voters based on the previous records. And most of the Filipinos, mga voters, qualified voters, would prefer to participate in the presidential election. But I think this time around po, dahil sa mga a lot of things happening in the Philippines, no? I think the number of voters who will be participating in this year's midterm election, again, I will repeat, that will be on May 12th, that will be on Monday, no? We are expecting an increase of voters in this midterm election. Shoutout muna tayo kay Ate Fabe, si Chris Malina Muhammad Fabian, who's watching my program ngayon po dyan po sa Tawi-Tawi or sa municipality of Bonggao. Kumusta kayo po? And so far, Chris, we are okay, everything is fine, and excited din kami po to know what is happening or from today onwards hanggang sa Monday po, ano ang resulta ng election. I was monitoring also, Chris, no? Ang mga campaign activities dyan sa Tawi-Tawi. And of course, you have the re-electionist governor of Tawi-Tawi, si Governor Ismail Mang Sali, and he's being challenged by the daughter of the late governor of Tawi-Tawi, si Governor Sahali po, no? And this time around, nandyan po ang daughter, si Madam Ruby Sahali. Tied up sila po, nakikita ko po, no? Ang mga crowds ng mga tao dyan sa mga rallies ni Mang Sali, and I also saw ang mga sorties, campaign sorties of Madam Ruby Sali dyan sa Cebuto, dyan sa Sitangkay, dyan sa Mapon, marami ding tao. But let's see po ang the final results on May 12th, on Monday po. So, good luck to all the candidates. All right, let's continue with this report that I want to share with you regarding ang mga survey ng national candidates natin po dyan sa Pilipinas. Ang mga kababayan ko sa Malaysia, dito sa Sabah, sa Kota Kinabalu, you listen carefully. Alright, ang title ng news article is Bongo maintains top spot in polls survey, 13 other Senate bets in winner's circle. This is a report coming from the ABS-CBN network po, no? Online. Now, here is the story or the details of this news article. Senator Christopher Bongo remains to be the frontrunner in the Senate race, according to a survey conducted 3 weeks before the May 12 polls and released today or Monday. Go, one of the candidates of the PDP Laban, ranked first in the Pulse Asia survey with 62.2% of voters staying or saying they would vote for him in the May 12 election. Meanwhile, sharing second to fourth places were ex-CIS Representative Erwin Tulfo with 42.4%, former Senate President Vicente Soto with 41.1%, and Senator Ronald De La Rosa, Bato De La Rosa with 41.0%. The rest of the 14 senatorial candidates who have statistically chance of making it to the winner circles are the following. Okay, nandito na po. Senator Ramon Bong Revilla Jr. with nasa 5th to 8th places with 35.6%. Former Senator Panfilo Lacson, 5th to 9th places with 33.8%. Ben Tulfo, a media man, independent, 5th to 10 places with 35.5%. Senator Manuel Lapid with, or nasa ano siya po, sa 5th to 11 placing, and he garnered something like 32.2%. Makati City Mayor Abigail Binay, nasa 6 to 13 placing with 30.2%. And next is Senator Pia Cayetano, nasa 7 to 13 placing, and she garnered a total of 29.9%. And then mayroon tayo dito very popular entertainer, si Willie Villame, and nasa 8 to 14 placing siya po, and garnered something like 28.6%. Followed Willie Villame is no other than Las Piñas City Representative si Camille Villar, nasa 19 to 14 placing with 28.3%. And next is former Senator Emmanuel Pacquiao or Manny Pacquiao, nasa 9 to 14 placing, and he garnered something like 28.3%. Former Senator Paulo Benigno Aquino IV, nasa 11 to 18 placing, and garnered something like 25.4%. Pulse Asia noted that most of the possible winners are either former or incumbent legislators and are running under the administration's Alyansa para sa Bagong Pilipinas. The survey was conducted from April 20 to 24, 2025 with 2,400 respondents. Yun po ang latest survey natin dyan po sa Pilipinas. And later on, I will give you also po ang video clip, no? Video clip ko regarding itong survey. Nandito po. Kaya ba natin ito? From ABS-CBN. Let's listen to this. Hold on, ha? Survey lang yun po. Mayroon Okta, mayroon different kinds of surveys po, no? And I'll give you later ang video clips regarding itong survey. And Pulse Asia says different results, and other political surveys says different results. If you look from the results of other non-commissioned survey, na karamihan ng mga PDP laban candidates na pasok sa Magic 12. As what I said, survey lang ito, and the real survey will be on May 12. And if okay ang resulta ninyo po sa survey, now it doesn't mean kampante na kayo po. Don't be overconfident. Make sure that you continue to maintain that position that you have in the survey. But if on the other hand, medyo declining ang results ninyo sa survey, be it commission or non-commission or whoever conducted the survey, take it as a challenge to improve. Mayroon pa tayong 1 week po. Although it's very difficult because I look at it, majority of the voters now fixed na ang mind niya. Maybe we can still try to convince those who haven't decided yet kung sino-sino ang mga kandidato nila. Ang mga kandidato nila. So, okay. Let me share you one video clip, no? And si Karina po, no? Ang newscaster dyan sa Manila, interviewed si Dr. Alan Herman. And siya po ang UP Political Science Chairman, no? Chairman po. Let's listen what he has to say regarding itong survey po. Let's listen to this. I'll give you a full screen para at least mas klaro, mas disente. Shoutout muna tayo kay sino-sino. Marilu Pentojo. Marilu Pentojo. Ano ito? Mayroon tayo dito. Kandidat ang senatorial rally dito sa Tawi-Tawi. Senator Bong Revilla and Senator Manny Pacquiao pumunta dito for Senate, for senatorial rally. Oh, nandiyan pala kanina daw. According to Chris Mascalin, Muhammad Fabian, very active media personality dyan sa Tawi-Tawi po. Now, nandyan na po si Manny Pacquiao and Bong Revilla po, campaigning. Thank you for the information, Ate Chris. Thank you very much, no? Thank you very much. Alright, nandito na po. I will share with you itong video clip. Ang statement, observation of Dr. Alan Herman, the chairman or political science chairman of UP. Dr. Sandali. Ano ito? Ito si Dr. Eris Arugay. Dr. Eris Arugay pala ito. Sandali, Arugay ba ito? Ano? Parang ano tayo. You hold on. Nandito mo, I'll share this thing to you.
In the run-up to the May 12th elections.
Of course, they would rather they had more names there from the Alliance. And definitely, this is not the best case scenario for them. Definitely, that outlier, they were hoping that I keep on referring to the suction effect. They might have miscalculated that this suction effect could be sustained and could be prolonged up to election day. So definitely, this is not where the admin would ideally want to be. But here's the thing. If you really look at the numbers, and again, you look at historical candlestick charts and results of past elections, during midterm elections, the admin will really get anywhere from 8 to 10 senators during midterms. The only outlier to that was GMA, which is another story for another day. I mean, that was really a statistical outlier during the GMA part. But at any given time during midterms, the admin will get 8 to 10. I think they're at 8 right now. So they're still not in catastrophic shape, having this latest survey a snapshot in time.
Not yet.
Not yet, yes. Not yet catastrophic. They've still got 8 in there.
Okay, but is there a way to sort of turn the tide around?
Well, sadly, again, you contextualize the question very, very clearly that I will wear my hat as a political strategist. The sad answer to that and the reality of political exercises in the Philippines is really at this point you are already doing what is known as ceiling pulling and basement stomping. So what you're doing is really pulling down the people on top, the two people on top of you, and stomping down the two people below you. So you can expect on media, on social media especially, a lot of smear tactics, a lot of hit jobs on senators, especially the ones on the lower end of the spectrum survey.
Okay, which brings us to the Liberal opposition. Where do you see their campaign? Where is this headed? Is it headed to, the winner's circle, or this as far as they're going to go?
I'm sure you're as surprised as I am, Carmina, with if we're talking about Senator Bam and Senator Kiko, former Senator Bam and former Senator Kiko, and the endorsements they've been getting. You'll do a double take and see what kind of the people endorsing them. You're like, what? Really? They've made that alliance already. I think they're doing well. I think they've learned the lessons of their past. Again, Harry Roque, my goodness, who would think that I would quote him twice in one interview? But politics really is addition. I think that the Liberal candidates, Senator Kiko and Senator Bam, have learned these lessons. They are no longer being, ivory tower, high horse-ish about it, and really forming solid alliances, machinery-wise. This might just get them in.
All right. And then when you talk about the presidential sister, let's go back to her. Is she completely out of the running at this point?
Well, again, never say never. You never know what this. Again, a survey is a snapshot in time, but a survey this late, especially done by a statistically sound and reputable firm like Pulse Asia, you will see that her trajectory is really going down. That's more worrisome than the standing. Unlike the other PDP candidates, like for example, Congressman Marcoleta, Philip Salvador, the actor, their trajectories are going upwards. On the contrary, contrast that to Senator Amy, who is consistently just falling and falling, survey after survey, just falling. Obviously these Senate inquiries that she's calling are perhaps an attempt to consolidate and to really firmly stand with the Duterte supporters. I'm not sure if it's working. The surveys don't seem to back up that conjecture. I think she's up for. I think the battle will be very, very uphill and very, very fraught with potholes and challenges.
All right. But as you see, okay, you've said it a couple of times already. This is just but a snapshot, right? Although we're near the finish line.
Less than 30 days.
Right. You take a look at this snapshot and you know that there's an impeachment trial that's going to happen. Take a look at the names there, knowing that there's an impeachment trial. How is that trial going to end, given the names in this snapshot? What do you think?
Given the names and given the late trajectory of pro-Duterte support, I think on the ground, anecdotally, there's no way for me to quantify it, but at least qualitatively, some of my clients, I have felt it, that really the Duterte supporters are solidly and out in full force, going for campaigning for their bets and ensuring that the admin gets 0 bets. So this has translated into surveys. So given that political context and the names, I think Vice President, who has already been impeached, actually has a very good chance of not being convicted.
And if that is your reading, Mr. Veteran Campaign Strategist, what will that mean then for this administration? They're on the halfway mark here. If you're saying that that's your reading, that she has a good chance of not getting convicted, and knowing that this administration still has 3 years in it, what's the situation going to be like post-election day and post-impeachment trial?
Well, they've still got arrows in the quiver, as figuratively speaking. They've still got arrows in the quiver. They can still file cases against her. They can still, the sword of Damocles, the ICC, is still hanging over her head, and very real this time with what happened to her father. But I think the impeachment was the quickest and surest way to get her out of 2028, because that would have disqualified her for running for elected position. But if, again, the admin is not able to do that, they're going to be faced with quite a formidable reignited candidacy, possibly of Vice President Duterte. And, the nature bandwagon. I think after this midterm election, especially if the results will mirror what we see in this last survey, I think that a lot of politicians will actually jump ship and suddenly have an epiphany and reconnect with the former their former Duterte selves, Duterte supporting selves. That's my prediction. Politics is really fickle.
And so it begins yet again.
And so it begins with the end game. You know, the finish line is in sight, but man, what a easy, worrisome picture it is, isn't it, Carmina? And I'll see you at the end line.
Alright, that's it. Yun po, si Dr. Alan Herman, no? Dr. Alan Herman. And one of the, dyan po sa Pilipinas, is one of these political campaign strategies po. And that's how we look at the situation dyan sa Pilipinas when it comes to the midterm election come May 12th or on Monday. Nakikita natin po, no? Sabi niya na pipick up din ang mga kandidato ng PDP laban and mahirapan din po ang Marcos administration or ang mga kandidato ni Marcos, ang alyansa para sa bagong Pilipinas, no? Diyan po sa Magic 12. As what I said, different kinds of polls being carried out and different kinds of results po. But out of these political surveys po, no, na release just recently, nakita natin po na ang mga kandidato ni Tatay Digong po is really on the tumaas po ang mga rating nila sa survey. Kung sakali, karamihan ng mga PDP laban candidates will be inside the 12 senatorial slates, then walang problema po sa impeachment ni Inday Sara Duterte. And that is for the reason why ang PDP laban together with Vice President Inday Sara Duterte, siya po, after getting the marching order coming from Tatay Digong dyan sa The Hague or dyan po sa Netherlands to campaign for the PDP laban candidates po, no? Busy talaga si Inday Sara Duterte. In fact, hindi lang si Inday Sara Duterte busy ngayon. Lahat sila po, ang pamilya ni Tatay Digong po, that includes ang si Madam Hanilet at saka ang younger daughter ni Tatay Digong, si Veronica, or better known to many Filipinos and friends of the Duterte clan, si Kitty po. Although she's very young to come in dyan po sa politiko, but because of what happened, sabi ni Kitty, because of what happened daw sa tatay niya po, they kidnapped ang tatay niya and brought to the custody of the International Criminal Court. Si Kitty now was forced to be active in the political activities ng mga Duterte po, no? Ng mga Duterte. May impact ba yan or wala? Let's see po sa Monday, sa Monday. But so far, nakikita natin na mayroon po, may impact talaga po. And this morning, I was also monitoring ang mga activities ng campaign sorties ni Alyansa para sa Bagong Pilipinas, and spearheaded by our president, si Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. They went to Cebu, no? Sa Cebu po, sa lugar ni Governor Gwen Garcia. And mayroon din silang mga tao po, but ang mga response ng mga participants dyan po sa campaign rally ni Bongbong Marcos po, medyo mahina, no? That's how I look at it. I was really monitoring ang campaign rally nila dyan sa Cebu. And I noticed also po that hindi lahat ng mga kandidato ng Alyansa para sa Bagong Pilipinas nag-attend sa Cebu rally. this morning. I saw Abalos. I saw the wife of Bong Revilla, but si Bong Revilla wala po sa rally. And then, sino pa yun? Si Governor Glenn was there. Bongbong Marcos was there. Si Tolentino wala. Si Camila wala. Si Peter, Cayetano wala. Si Dito Lapid wala. Sino pa? Tito Soto wala din doon po. Si Ping Lacson wala din. And yun na po, no? Bakit kaya? Because we have to remember, vote rich province ang Cebu, no? Ang Cebu. Pero konti lang po nag-attend or personally took the time to campaign dyan po sa Cebu. Unlike ang mga campaign rallies ni Inday Sara Duterte at saka mga PDP Laban candidates just recently dyan sa Cebu po, grabe ang mga tao doon. But anyway, let's see po, as what I said, tingnan natin po sa Monday, sa May 12. Sa May 12 po. Alright, tuloy ang programa natin dito sa NikTok, The Real Talk with Nico. And this time around, I'm going to share with you another video clip, ang comments, observation na isa pang political analyst, si Dr. Eris Arugay, about ang mga surveys po dyan sa Pilipinas. And of course, anong say niya po tungkol ang last 2 minutes po. Last week na ito po, no? Last week na ito po. And I think campaign period will end on Saturday. Let's listen to Dr. Eris Arugay. Nandito po. Hold on, ha? I'll give you also a full screen para klaro mas disente po. Full screen tayo po. Let's listen to this. Nandito.
What are you looking at here?
Right. It's going to be a tight Senate race. We've seen that if we consult the polling, but we also observe yung galawan ng mga kandidato sa pagkasenador. No? A lot of them are really making last-minute efforts, and we expect to remain that. This will be a highly competitive Senate race. In historically Senate elections, the rank according to surveys of maybe between 11 to 14 are within the winning magic 12. But now we can extend that. Some surveys even put it up to 18. So therefore, there might be surprises, and to what extent the polls will reflect the actual figures, we might see a few surprises.
Okay, give us possibilities, Aris. In the realm of surprises, in the run-up to the May 12 elections and post, what surprises are you expecting? Give us a preview of what you're expecting.
Right. The surprises might be, those last minute. It will really depend on the last minute efforts, and I think if we historically consult polling or the surveys, Carmina, normally this gauges what we call the market vote. So I think in this week and before the elections, it will be the command vote that will determine whether there will be surprises. And command vote is the base, and whatever votes that could be garnered by candidates depending on their alignments and last-minute endorsements at the local level. So the idea here, Carmina, is that the surprises might be the various permutations or combinations that we might see in the sample ballots that we will witness. And the surprises might be that the alliance or the coalitions might not be respected, meaning the sample ballots or the final endorsements at the local level, and perhaps by some collective groups like religious denominations might feature a combination of different slates or different candidates from different states.
Which brings me to my next question. I'm going to cut to the chase here. Expected this week is the endorsement of INC. I think they already came out with their endorsement for the local elections, but insofar as the nationals is concerned, that's gonna be expected to come out this week. How much of a game changer will that be for the candidates in the running?
Carmina, it depends. I think if you are ranked maybe number 10, pababa, you will want to be in that endorsement. According to our last census, INC members account to 2.8 million, but not all of them will vote. So, or within the voting age. So, if we consult the population census, that around 61% of the population is around 18 years old and above. So, we're talking about 1.7 or more or less around that figure, INC possible voters. That's a huge number, Carmina, especially if you're ranked number 11, 12, 13, and 14. I think the INC has been historically have a good record of having their endorsed candidates win, but this is because they endorse at the very last minute. And they really I think it's really the winnability that's a major factor. So therefore, this is why they don't announce it. But they're well known to, or at least the reputation is that there is some compliance and some consistency in the endorsements and their ability to deliver the vote. So if I am a senatorial candidate and I'm ranked around 9, 10, 11, 12, up to maybe 16 or 18, this will be a huge boost to being part of the Magic 12.
Alright, that's it. Si Dr. Eris Arugay, ang statement niya po, ang observation niya tungkol sa mga situation ngayon dyan po sa Pilipinas when it comes to the issue of, sabihin natin, midterm election. Yes, he mentioned something about the INC, INC. Now, malaking tulong na din yun. They have a total of, mayroon sila a total of 2.8 million members, no? Estimate around 1.7, 1.8 million will vote because not everybody will be voting. And of course, they go for block voting. Remember that? Block voting itong INC, and nakita natin po, mga politicians, they would really find time to court, to court ang INC para sa candidacy nila. And yes, Duterte already spoke to the INC, and we noticed na they conducted earlier itong peace rally. Daming talagang tao nang participate tungkol sa desisyon ni President Bongbong Marcos not to proceed with the impeachment trial of Inday Sara Duterte dahil ang dami pa tayong mga problema. And because of that, they carried out itong peace rally po, which was participated by millions of Filipinos po. But unfortunately, ang gobyerno did not listen to the cry of the INC. Now, there is also another thing that we have to consider, ang grupo ni Pastor Quiboloy, ang Kingdom of Jesus Christ. Ang dami din sila po members. So definitely, I am sure that karamihan ng mga KOJ members, because of what happened to their pastor, and Pastor Quiboloy is also a candidate to be a senator come Monday. So they will be supporting ang PDP laban na candidates. And of course, mayroon tayong ang Roman Catholic voters. Marami din yun po, no? But if I'm not mistaken, we have a total of, correct me if I'm wrong, 64 or 68 million voters expected to participate, or qualified voters for the midterm election. For the midterm election. Let's see po ano ang turnout of voters sa Monday. But if you combine ang INC, KOJ plus ang Roman Catholic, they will not go for block voting. I think KOJ and INC block voting talaga ito po, no? So let's see po ano ang resulta sa election on Monday. Now, let me share you again a continuation of Dr. Aris Rugay tungkol sa INC voting po, black voting. Mayroon din siya mga comments dito po, and let's listen to this. Let's listen to this. Saan na yun? 1.32. Let's listen to this po. You hold on. Alright.
INC endorsements. No? And in fact, since 1998, the number of candidates that weren't able to win senatorial seats is within the range of 1 to 3. So that's an amazing track record of being able to see their endorsements win senatorial seats. And however, given this particular electoral cycle, 2025, INC might find itself in a dilemma because they might have endorsed previous candidates that they might not be endorsing this round, and to what extent they endorse a particular candidate also depends on whether that candidate has shifted loyalties. So there's a lot of factors, but I do think at the end, if INC is being very strategic, they will try to endorse as many of the winnable candidates, because if they bet on the candidates who will eventually lose, it might significantly undermine their ability to endorse winners, and therefore their track record might be negatively affected, and therefore they won't be seen as a strong political force, or at least the perception of that, in the next electoral cycles.
It's a very interesting.
Alright, yun po ang comments, statement ni Dr. Aris Arugay. And talking about endorsement, nag-endorse din si Inday Sara Duterte, dalawang kandidato po, no? Just recently, last week. And I am referring to si Congresswoman Camille Villar. And re-election is Amy Marcos. It will also, whether we like it or not, there will be an impact. Although ang rating ni Amy Marcos, medyo nahirapan siya magpasok sa Magic 12 in some poll surveys. But in other poll surveys, as what I said, it differs ang mga resulta nila po, ang commission and non-commission poll surveys po carried out dyan po sa Pilipinas since last year hanggang this week or hanggang last week po. Let's see. And karamihan ng mga Filipinos now, especially ang mga supporters ni Inday Sara Duterte, they supporting ang appeal ni Inday Sara Duterte to give their votes to Congresswoman Camille Villar, and re-electionist Amy Marcos come Monday midterm election. All right, let's move on. Another video clip that I want to share with you, and this time around, it is coming from another professor, political professor, si Eric Torres. Hold on, si Eric Torres. You hold on. Hold on for a while. Anong cue ni Eric Torres? Alright, you hold on. Sandali lang ito. 2:30. Alright, nandito po ang statement, comments ni Professor Eric Torres.
Torres now joining us via Zoom. Sir, magandang umaga and thank you for joining us this morning.
Magandang umaga po, Sir Ed.
Yes, sir. Sir, before I go into the surveys, let me ask you something that's kind of sticking out. I know we have one week left before election day. It's actually a week from now. So, ito na naman tayo. But anyway, we've had this, we've had this unusual case where you have two people who were originally with the administration, ngayon parang tila namamangka sa dalawang ilog. At least si Amy hindi na, kasi mukhang si Amy talaga pumukod na eh. But at least at the outset, or at the onset pala, these were identified with the administration. I'm wondering anong tingin niyo doon sa naging epekto ng kanilang pagtawid ng ilog, kumbaga. Mula sa admin, ngayon kung hindi tuluyang sumampa doon sa kabilang ilog, nandun pa rin sa pagitan. How's that working for them from what you can see?
Well, ito yung talagang testimony talaga kung saan, number one, makikita natin kung magkakaroon ba talaga ng weight yung political capital ni VP Sara. Kasi kung matatandaan natin, talagang may ad na lumabas for Senator Amy at saka for kay Assistant Majority Floor Leader Camille Villar. So, ito yung test case at makikita natin kung magkakaroon ba talaga ng weight yung endorsement at saka gaano kataas yung endorsement capacity ni VP Sara. Of course, nakita natin yung ginawa ni Senator Amy at saka ni Congressman Villar is, of course, nakikita natin medyo masikip kung titignan natin yung pinaka latest survey ng Okta Research.
Yes, sir.
Medyo yung nandoon sa 10, 11, 12, 13 po. So, ito ay itong last week na to is going to be very crucial for all the candidates. Secondly, nag-aabang or nag-aantay na rin din yung mga kandidato. Yung ibang mga local ay naipatawag na. So, nag-aabang na lalo na from the national candidates yung endorsement ng malaking, of course, religious organization for that matter.
Sir, when you see endorsement ng
Alright, yon si Professor Eric Torres. So, yun po, busy-busy ang mga kandidato natin po dyan sa Pilipinas. And if you ask me about Malaysia, dito sa Sabah po, Malaysia in general. Now, based on the previous elections, 2016, 2019, 2022 po, ang Malaysia is a Duterte country. We have a total of, if I'm not mistaken, kunti lang man mga voters dito sa Malaysia po. We only have few thousands. I think it's 18, 19,000 or 20,000 lang po. But the majority of these voters dito sa Pilipinas, mga Filipinos, overseas Filipino workers, now they are supporters of Tatay Digong. And from the very beginning, nag-start ang filing of certificate of candidacy last October, and I've been going around and getting some feedbacks coming from the Filipinos dito po, voters dito sa Malaysia. And the only thing that I can say is that walang bias ito, majority are supporting itong si Tatay Digong or ang mga kandidato ni Tatay Digong, and they are strong supporter of Inday Sara Duterte. In fact, most of them are now campaigning for the straight vote or block voting po sa midterm election. And some of the Filipinos already started voting online dito sa Malaysia at saka dito po sa Sabah. Sa Sabah, Sarawak, and other states dito sa Malaysia, campaigning for the block voting. Alright, yan po ang latest developments natin po sa election, midterm election on May 12. Ibig sabihin, sa Monday na po, Monday tayo ngayon, next Monday, election na po. And nakita natin po mga kandidato ng ibang partido dyan po sa Marcos team po. Some of them, they don't dare to come openly supporting ang sabi natin ang candidacy nila, at saka mga supporters nila po, they have apprehensions because kung manalo, maraming mga kandidato sa Pilipilaban magpasok dyan po sa Senado, sa Congress, sa mga local positions po. So, they will start be jumping. In fact, mayroon na po mga kandidato, they are already jumping quietly po. But this time around, ang grupo ni Tatay Digong, medyo they are really very particular kung sino po will be joining ang partido in the event ang grupo nila po will win in this midterm election. Because after the midterm election, magiging lame duck na po ang presidente or si Bongbong Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. And let's say po, and things will now be pushing for the 2028 presidential election. And nandun na po, kung majority will win sa PDP laban, ibig sabihin po, maskin yun na impeachment trial ni Inday Sara Duterte po will carry no weight. Will carry no weight. And of course, I myself would encourage ang mga followers ko po, no? This is my own personal thing lang po, no? It's up to you, but I would say mabuti pa po, we go for the Duterte candidates po. We have seen ang performance ng mga Duterte. We have seen the performance of Tatay Digong. We have seen ang improvements ni Tatay Digong. And we have been shouting since the day one nagbaba na si Tatay Digong as president. We have been clamoring, we have been shouting for continuity of all the development projects of Tatay Digong, but unfortunately, it did not happen. Despite of si Inday Sara Duterte joined forces with Bongbong Marcos, they formed this unity team, and that unity team did not last so long. It only took 2 years lang yata po, no? So, yun pa rin ang cry ng mga Filipinos, ng mga Filipinos dito sa Malaysia. Continuation of what Tatay Digong did when he was the president of the Philippines from 2016 hanggang 2022 before the presidential election po. So, ang mga tao din, I would like, before I will forget, I would like to remind also ang mga Filipinos po, especially ang mga members ng SSS, GSIS, no? And the entire Filipinos, particularly ang mga Samangmeños and those dyan po sa Mindanao, particularly Zamboanga, Basilan, Sulu, and Tawi-Tawi, as well as ang BARM area po, no? Na let's support itong SSS, GSIS party list. It's a good material to put ang SSS, GSIS pensionado party list dyan po sa Kongreso. One of the reasons is that itong first nominee is a very highly qualified leader. That is one. In terms of the academic achievement, maganda ang record niya. In terms of working experience, maganda din po ang record niya. He has been working in the government for quite a donkey years already, and performance niya is good. Central office, represented the Philippines in other countries, and became the president of SSS, GSIS. Before filing ang certificate of candidacy last October, he was the chairman and president of the GSIS. And yes, the other thing is that medyo bias ako po dahil I'm from Zamboanga City, and ang first nominees ng SSS, GSIS pensionado party list comes from Zamboanga, and I am referring to no other than si Rolando Ledesma Rolly Makasaid, a blue-blooded Atenean, a blue-blooded Zamboangueño who hails from the barangay Bolong. Let's support and give him the chance po. Give him the chance. And of course, if they will be, or he will be included po, in other words, ang Zamboanga mayroon na 3 congressmen. District 1, District 2, and party list. So, siguro hanggang dito na lang po ang programa natin, ang NikTok, The Real Talk with Nico. Once again, mayroon na lang tayong one solid week. No? One solid week. And we're going to go down to the polling centers on Monday. Now, let us vote according to our conscience. Hope there will be no vote buying. There will be, it will be carried out ang midterm election natin po in a peaceful, orderly, and maganda po ang midterm election natin po. Problem-free election. So with this, once again, Nico Fabian would like to say thank you very much for making me a part of your day today. Have a good working week po today. And don't forget to lend your ears and eyes to these candidates until the last hour of the campaign period po. And then make a firm decision and based on your conscience. Malaysia, Sabah, the Philippines. God bless us all. And I'll see you tomorrow again. Bye.